One drop. That's all it takes. Hello my fellow Whovians and subscribers, and welcome to my latest Doctor Who review, where today I review the 201st Doctor Who story, which is David Tennant's penultimate story as the 10th Doctor, The Waters of Mars. Once again, this story is part of the specials, the little group of stories that will be David Tennant's last stories, and we're almost at the end, and this was actually the 2009 autumn Doctor Who special, so it was aired, I think, around November time in 2009. Okay, so The Waters of Mars. The plot is as follows. Mars 2059. Bowie Base 1. Last recorded message. Don't drink the water. Don't even touch it. Not one drop. To add further to that, basically the Doctor comes across a group of people who are living on Mars and trying to colonize and trying to study the life of the planet. And then an infection brews in the water, and the water starts to infect all of the crew. And then the Doctor is faced with another difficult decision, in which he knows that this point in time is fixed, and that all of these people are going to die on the base, including Captain Adelaide Brooke. And the Doctor is very conflicted about what to do, and in the end he basically turns dark and decides to disobey the laws of time and to take matters into his own hands. But will Captain Adelaide approve or not? That's the question. So, The Waters of Mars. Wow. This story is phenomenal. This is one of the best Doctor Who stories I've ever seen, and it's definitely one of David Tennant's best stories ever. This is pretty high up for me. I think this is definitely one of his greatest performances as well, because we really do see that darker side of his Doctor come through. The third act of this story, the climactic third and final spectacle, is really amazing. It is terrific. Everything starts to ramp up, the tension starts to increase, and we see the Doctor just say, fuck it, basically. He doesn't say that, but basically he decides, screw it, I'm the only Time Lord left, why should I obey the laws anymore? And in this story, the Doctor is companionless once again. In his last few stories, the Doctor doesn't really have a central companion with him throughout the end of his journey, so there is no one to stop him from going too far in this case. And you know, Donna's not there, Rose isn't there, Martha's not there, nobody's there to tell him no, enough is enough. Adelaide sort of sees what he's doing and realizes, oh my god, he's become so arrogant and almost borderline evil. Like he's really going against what he stands for, and also her legacy as well, which is the main reason why he tried to protect her from the knowledge, because he knew that it would upset her, but at the same time he tried to tell her in a way that would be more meaningful for her family, because they would go on, because of her death, they would go on and be inspired to carry out her legacy. So there. It's one of those instances, it's a little bit like the fires of Pompeii, which the Doctor does refer to, where he's placed in a very difficult decision, but and at the heart of that, it's a real drama, because we see Adelaide as well going through the story, trying to come to terms with her death, and the fact that she also saw a Dalek when she was younger. It's bringing it all back, and that meeting with the Dalek, which was actually set during the Stolen Earth and Journey's End story. She was actually like an 11-year-old girl or something, and the Dalek saw her through the window, but it went away because it knew that her death was a fixed point in time. I thought it was clever the way they tied that in, and her backstory was really engaging. And also at the beginning we're seeing her and her daughter and her granddaughter on the video call, and it really is quite an emotional story as well in that regard, because Adelaide as a character, I think, is really, really well done. Lindsay Duncan plays Adelaide, and she does a really, really good job. And we sort of see, like I say, Adelaide coming to terms with her death, and the fact that her death would inspire her family for future generations. And the Doctor at first tries to protect that, but then he takes it all away because he turns dark at the end. So the performances are just absolutely incredible. Like David Tennant, this is a great performance from him, and he's really going all out, and we're really seeing the Doctor go the furthest he's ever gone, really. In The Runaway Bride, he allowed himself to go dark there, and then in The Fires of Pompeii, he was also wrestled with a difficult decision there. And this is the third time now that he's going too far, and he needs someone to stop him. And this is why you know, it's foreshadowing his impending doom, so to speak, in the end of time. So the story itself is incredibly dramatic and incredibly, you know, thrilling as it goes on, and you're just watching it in complete shock, thinking, oh my god, this is not the Doctor. He's really gone, and he's really lost it. Oh my god. And you can see how conflicted he is in the story, and how much he wants to go, but he just can't. There's something that's pulling him back, and he can't just leave these people to die. At first it's a moral thing, but then it's like, you know what, I am the Time Lord victorious, you know, screw it, the laws of time are mine. The villains in this story are really quite something. Well, the entity of water, it's a very clever idea, the fact that the water is a substance that will infect people, because obviously our bodies as human beings are 60% water. So it's a really cool idea that the water on Mars is infecting people, and the look on their faces, like the cracked faces and the lips, and the water kind of gushing from their mouths, and even one drop could kill you. I think it really amps up the tension, it amps up the stakes. It's just really incredible. It's really quite scary as well, especially how all of the crew are being taken out one by one, and you really actually start to feel sorry for them, because it's a really desperate situation that they're all in. And even though they were all meant to die, it turns out that, well, 2 of them survived because of the Doctor, although Adelaide takes matters into her own hands and decides to undo what the Doctor has done slightly by killing herself, which was a very powerful ending. And I think at the end they realise, what the hell has the Doctor done, and who is he? Like, he's kind of appointed himself as like this godlike figure who can do whatever he wants, and Adelaide really comes to, I think, despise the Doctor by the end. I love the look of the story as well, the fact that it's set on Mars, and the CGI is some of the best I've ever seen in the Russell T Davies era, and the set looks really, really good, like the space station or whatever it is. It looks really, really good. We've got quite a good supporting cast, actually, as well as Lindsay Duncan. We've got Ed Gold, who's the deputy captain. He keeps deserting his post. He doesn't really seem to like taking orders. He very much likes to do what he wants, but it's sad when he goes. He dies in the rocket. And then we've also got Yuri Korinsky, played by Alexander Mikik. He's good. Mia Bennett, played by Gemma Chan. Yuri and Mia are the only ones that survive, actually. Maggie Kane, played by Sharon Duncan Brewster. Tarek Ital, played by Chuk Sibtain. Andy Stone, played by Alan Rusko. Steffi Ehrlich, played by Cosima Shaw. And Roman Groom, played by Michael Goldsmith. So they're a great set of characters, and they're all likable enough, and I like them enough. And it is pretty sad when they all go. We've also got this little robot called Gadget, which is well, he's a bit of an old flimsy robot, and the sparks keep flying off him, and he's remote controlled by these little metallic gloves that Roman uses. The voice is a little bit irritating, but it's meant to be. It's part of the story. It's, it's the fact that the Doctor is annoyed by the robot, and then in the end, the robot is what helps save them. I think that's just a great bit of irony there. I also think this is one of Murray Gold's best soundtracks as well, especially in the third act when they're trying to fight the flood. The music is really ramping up, and it's a real thrill to listen to it on its own is great, but also with the episode, it's brilliant. I also like the exterior shots of Mars. Like I said, the CGI looks really, really incredible, and like it looks beautifully shot, and the writing is very well done by Russell T Davies and Phil Ford. They've written a very compelling script. It's very dramatic. It's fantastic. It's a really great script. If I have any issues, well, maybe the Gadget voice is a little annoying, but like I said, it's meant to be intentionally annoying for the story. But honestly, The Waters of Mars, this is an incredible Doctor Who story. It is absolutely brilliant, and it is, for me, the best of these specials, which are the last stories of David Tennant. For me, this is the best one of the group. And as penultimate stories go, it's also probably one of the best. I'll do a ranking someday of all the penultimate Doctor Who stories, and this one will be pretty high up. So to close it off, I don't have much else to say, so I will give The Waters of Mars an easy 10 out of 10. So, that brings us on to the 202nd Doctor Who story, which is the final story for David Tennant as the 10th Doctor. Yeah, it's been an interesting run to review his era, but we now come to the end of time. So, until next time, thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'm Mr. TARDIS11. See you soon. Bye for now.